Gambhir. Viewers, you're watching our continuous coverage as far as budget for 2026 is concerned. Budget presentation is done by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. It was an 85-minute odd long speech. It was a budget for our mission to become Viksit by 2047. Let's take you through the key highlights of this particular budget that we saw earlier today. The public CAPEX or capital expenditure, in fact, for the next financial year has been increased substantially to 12.2 lakh crore rupees for FY27. Infrastructure Risk Guarantee Fund. This is what the Finance Minister proposed. That's going to provide prudently calibrated partial credit guarantee to lenders. The focus has been a lot on infrastructure this time as well. For per city economic region, CER over 5 years, 5,000 crore is something that the Finance Minister proposed today. Coastal cargo promotion scheme to raise the inland waterways and coastal shipping from 6% to 12% by 2047. The eye clearly of the government is on 2047, and that was the focus of most of the announcements that were made today. But viewers, there's another very important takeaway as far as this budget is concerned, and that is the focus on the defense sector in the country. It's the first budget after Operation Sindoor, and last year's allocation for Defense Ministry was 6.81 lakh crore rupees. This number has gone up sharply to 7.85 lakh crore rupees for 2026-27, the next financial year. And this is very significant. It's a 15% increase in allocation overall that we have seen in Defense Ministry's budget. For capital outlay, we have seen an increase of about 21% in the defense sector for modernization. So big boost there coming in. But viewers, the markets clearly are not convinced with the kind of announcements that we have seen from the Finance Minister today. In fact, as we speak, Sensex is down by about 1,700 plus points. And let's also show you where exactly Sensex is right now. So this is how it is looking like. We are seeing a cut of about 2.18%, 1,792 points lower right now. It has slipped below that mark of 81,000 as well. It's trading at 80,477. So markets clearly are quite unhappy. Many are wondering what is the reason. Some say it's the STT, Securities Transaction Tax, that has been increased for futures and options. But we just heard the Finance Minister and the secretaries in the Ministry of Finance explaining to us that the rationale behind increasing STT is actually to discourage speculative trading that happens. And that's the reason why many are saying markets are quite unhappy. Markets were also expecting that the long-term capital gains tax, there's going to be some tinkering on that front as well. That hasn't happened. Perhaps another reason why markets are disappointed. But viewers, Prime Minister Narendra Modi earlier spoke about the budget. He hailed the union budget. He hailed the budget for 2026-27, and he said it's going to focus on creating jobs in the country and youth specifically in the country. Listen.
यह युवा शक्ति बजट है. उसमें युवा की सोच भी है, युवा के सपने भी हैं, युवा का संकल्प भी है और साथ युवा की गति भी है. मैं भारत के युवाओं को विशेष तौर पर इस बजट की बहुत बधाई देता हूं, क्योंकि इससे एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन को बड़ा बूस्ट मिलेगा. ये बजट भारत की वैश्विक भूमिका को नए सिरे से सशक्त करता है. भारत के 140 करोड़ नागरिक फास्टेस्ट ग्रोइंग इकोनॉमी बनकर ही संतुष्ट नहीं है. हम जल्द से जल्द दुनिया की तीसरी सबसे बड़ी अर्थव्यवस्था बनना चाहते हैं.
And viewers, let's also welcome our guests who are joining us on the broadcast this afternoon. we have Dr. Sushil Tiwari, CEO, Tequila Global Services, Mr. Rohit Mahajan, founder and managing partner, Pluto's One, Sandeep Junjunwala, who is partner at Nangia Global Advisors LLP, Saloni Roy, partner, Deloitte India. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us here on Times Now. Ms. Saloni, to you first, in your opinion, how will you rate this budget? What is it that Finance Minister perhaps could have announced, but she didn't?
So I'm going to stay away from rating it, but I'm talking mostly from a customs perspective. She's made the right announcement. She said that there will be, more usage of tech for compliances. She's also spoken about, certain exemptions. She's spoken about SEZ, the law being revamped to align it. So there have been announcements which are definitely on the right track. GST, from a GST perspective, there wasn't much expected, but yes, the legislative changes have also been mentioned. So from that angle, I think it's all in all, it's fine. It is on as expected, really. But yes, of course, we want more. We always want more. So yeah, I'm hoping that in the years to come, we'll see more in the budget.
Okay. Mr. Rohit Mahajan, what is your understanding of this particular budget? Because there are, taxpayers clearly who are disappointed. They're saying we didn't really get, anything at all. Then if you look at the political parties as well in this country, they're also trying to suggest that, there isn't much. How will you like to rate this particular budget?
So my 2 cents of this budget. So this budget is a MSME operating backbone and travel as a demand accelerator. So what that means? So if you'll see, I'm not a political guy or a big corporate guy. I belong to a young startup and I represent MSMEs. So this MSME budget, we can always say this is an MSME budget. Let me explain you in a bit. So India service industry is doing very well. And if you'll see digital payments, where we come from, it's again doing very well. So what next? From last 1 year, we are trying to work with NPCI Bharat Connect for MSMEs to get invoice-based lending. So we all have missed one keyword, which is called TREADS. So TREADS is already giving a 7 lakh crore loan. Okay. Really in this time. And now, if you'll take an example, now TREADS is connected to a GEM. And this budget, FN says it will connect to the GEM. What that means? That means if we have if a small entrepreneur or MSME is applying for a big contract through a GEM, now they have access to the money. In India, labor is not the problem. Technology is not the problem. The financing is the problem. So we missed 2 keywords, corporate mitra and champion MSMEs. So we need to identify this is going to be a long-term effective budget for MSMEs. And currently, if you are looking for any freebies or anything on a budget, this is not a budget. The era is gone. The new era, we are talking about a Viksit Bharat. So Viksit Bharat requires a long-term vision. And this budget is a long-term vision. Okay.
Dr. Sushil Tiwari, do you think the announcements that have been made are going to give a fillip to job creation specifically?
Yeah, I think there are tick boxes that FM has ticked, nicely and correctly. If you look at the IT services sector itself, which is a big service provider or the employment generator, she has touched upon the AI part, which is the continued focus on AI. She has touched about the other important aspect of the IT services industry, which is the GCCs. She has touched upon the GCC items which have been in focus, and there have been a lot of expectations on the GCC side. She has touched upon that, and she has also touched upon the skilling part. I'm actually happy to hear the constitution of the E2E committee, which is basically talking about education to employment, right? That is one of the biggest, expectations of the industry, wherein you get the employable resources out of the educational institutes, right? So I would assume that this is what is going to happen out of E2E. And that should actually help the question that you're asking in a big way.
Okay. Mr. Sandeep Jhunjhunwala, what is your assessment of the budget? What is that one thing that you really liked and something that disappointed you?
So I think let's start with what really disappointed the Aam Aadmi, and maybe that's reflecting a little bit on the stock indices that you also spoke about. I think the fear of a higher STT on the speculative transactions that people end up doing on FNO, which obviously the government wants to discuss. And other than that, the way buyback tax has now again being brought under the capital gains regime definitely may not work very beneficial for the promoter class. It may definitely work a bit better for the non-promoter, because under the income from other sources category, you don't get any benefit of reduction. It's taxed at a gross level, whereas under capital gains, one can possibly take the reduction of the cost of acquisition. So that's not something significant, and maybe these two are the aspects that's hurting the common man, other than the point that there is no change in the slab rates. There is no change.
Well, that wasn't really the expectation also, given what we got last year. But thank you very much, all of you, for joining us here on Times Now and sharing with us your perspective. We'll slip into a very, very short break. We'll come back.